Hi everyone, it's Amanda. Today is going to be a bit of a different sort of video. I'm just going to be updating you a little bit on our life and what that means for our home education. Okay, I'll get straight to the point. We are moving. We've decided that we're going to be relocating our family to New Zealand. At this point, we hope to be out there February, March 2025, but we can't pin that down just yet. This is obviously a really big change for all of us. It's a big change for my kids and my husband because they've never lived in New Zealand before. This is entirely new for them. For me, it means just winding up 17 and a half years of living in the UK, and I've absolutely loved living in England. I think it's been such a privilege and a blessing to have been able to experience life in this country, which is a great country. I've so loved all the culture, all the history, and also the landscape, and of course the people. As we might expect with children, it's a mixed bag really. There's a measure of excitement about somewhere new, and we're certainly looking forward to the beaches and the outdoor lifestyle, but there's also real genuine sadness about saying goodbye to friends and family or just the familiarity of the things we love about life in the UK. So what does that mean for us in terms of homeschooling? Well, at this stage, I don't know exactly what it's going to look like for us when we get out to New Zealand. We have some plans and we have some ideas, but none of them are fixed and none of them are able to be pinned down just yet. So what that means is I'm facing the sense of unknown. This could well be our last term of home education as a family, certainly the last year of home education in this country. And so I am really, really determined to make the most of it. In practice, this means a couple of things. So firstly, I've got a bucket list of things that I want to do with the children before we leave, and we've already managed to tick off a number of things on that list. We went up to the Houses of Parliament for an excellent tour back in July. In fact, I highly recommend, if you home educate in the UK, to get on the mailing list and see if you can book in for next year's Home Education Day at Parliament. We are booked in next week to go to Buckingham Palace and have a tour of the staterooms. Just so you know, they do a home education rate in September only. So that means we get one free adult and the children are all cheap, like £6 a child or something. Anyway, it's at least half the price for our family compared to going as normal tourists and punters. So again, if you home educate in the UK, September is your month. Email them to find out details. I'm also going to take the kids to Chessington World of Adventures because it's a theme park, and New Zealand has like one theme park, but it's certainly nowhere near as good. Also, being a Shakespeare geek, we are finally going to be going to Stratford upon Avon in a couple of weeks' time. I'm using my Tesco Club card vouchers to get us into the Anne Hathaway's house, the MAD Museum, which is a mechanical engineering museum, the Butterfly Garden, and hopefully if we have good weather we can just enjoy a lovely lunch and ice cream by the river. We're also going up to London to see some theatre. Again, there is not the same theatre scene in New Zealand, so I really want to take advantage of being near London while we can. Sometimes when we start out on a journey, we have all sorts of different ideas of things we're going to do, and some of the things we do and some of the things we just don't get around to doing. Well, now that I've kind of got an end in sight, and again, I don't know what it's going to look like in New Zealand, so I'm treating it as if this is the end. People talk about in life, have no regrets, and sometimes it's just simply not possible, but I'm really trying to take this last term with that frame of mind that I don't want to have any regrets. I want to get to the end of this season of home education, which for us will be 6.5 years, or it might go longer in New Zealand, I don't know. But if this is the end, then I want to just make sure that I've done the very best that I can in that season that we had. So in addition to the bucket list of things to do, I just really want to focus on memory making and having fun together. I think these years of childhood, and I've got 2 teenagers now and a third one close behind, it just goes so fast. It flies by, and I really want to just make memories and have fun together. I think the relationship building value of home education is the long-term goal, and I really want to grab this next few months and just have loads of fun. I've also decided that we're going to increase our time that we work together as a group. So when we first started home educating, Jed, my youngest, was 4 and the oldest was 10, just turned 11 maybe. No, I think she was only 10. So they were quite young, and let's be honest, they were quite immature, and they were very easily provoked by one another and annoying. And so group work just didn't really gel for us in those early years. But now I've got an almost 10-year-old as the youngest and a 15-year-old as the oldest. And I tell you, the last 6 years have made such a difference in terms of their maturity. So I reckon we can handle a bit more group work. Some families do this group thing really well, and they spend a whole hour or two together every morning, and that just never worked for us. So this term, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we are spending a whole hour together at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have certain things that we're going to be doing every day, and we started back this week, and actually it worked really, really well, so I'm thoroughly pleased about that. So we're starting with prayer, and we are going over the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, and in Te Reo Māori and in English. Every day we are doing a recitation, and we're rotating between a poetry recitation, Shakespeare recitation, and a scripture recitation. Every day we are actually also doing a Bible reading, and we're working through the book of Numbers, and I'm trying to do one Torah portion a week. So basically the whole of Genesis to Deuteronomy, the Torah, is broken down into 54 portions, and I'm trying to do one a week because I've got a workbook for them to kind of complete some questions, a bit like a narration page, I guess, at the end of each week. Some weeks it's not going to be possible, but this week we did manage to do it. Every day we're also doing some form of music. So we've got a folk song one day, a hymn another day, and we're using the Ambleside online rotation, and then we're also doing a composer once a week, and we are back on Beethoven. Once a week we are doing our artist appreciation, and we are doing Hiroshige. He is a Japanese artist who specialized in the woodblock printing. So every day in our morning meeting we're also learning some Te Reo Māori phrases. I downloaded 100 Maori words every New Zealander should know, and I thought I know most of these but my kids don't, so we are working through them every day as well. Every day I am doing a read aloud, and we are doing The Ranger's Apprentice, which is a series that all my children have thoroughly enjoyed. And again, back to just the idea of having fun and making memories, I thought, let me just pick a read aloud that I know they're all going to love, and also that I can then understand what it is that they talk about when they're talking about different characters and different things. Then I get to kind of be part of the story that they're all living in. Once a week in our morning time, we are also doing Shakespeare, and we are studying Measure for Measure this term. Now that everyone's a bit older, we're going to do it a bit differently. So I'm going to be reading the whole story in a book, and then I'm going to read the story version again in the Charles and Mary Lamb version. Then the plan is each week we're going to listen to 1 or 2 scenes being read aloud by different actors. I'm not sure if I've got a physical copy to read along with, but at the very least they'll be hearing it, and they'll be hearing it read by people who know how to act. Finally, at the end of the term, we're going to make some puppets of the different characters because my kids really enjoy doing that, and then we'll try and narrate or at least act out one of the scenes. So that's our morning time. That's what we're doing all together as a group, and then everyone is going to go off and do their individual work, and they've been doing it really well. I tell you guys, if you've got young kids, they will grow up and there'll come a point where they can do a whole lot independently. I've got a number of work projects that I'm involved in, and so I've just scheduled Thursdays and Fridays for me to focus on those, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is when I'm really hands-on with the kids and involved in what they're doing. We're also part of a lovely little local group in our town, and we meet once a week on a Wednesday, and we have been doing that in the afternoons, and this term we've decided to increase that and make it a bit more of a chunk of our day. So we're going to be meeting on Wednesdays at about 11:30, and for this term we plan to do some team games, and then one of the mums is going to lead them in a choir, and then we'll have lunch together, and then we're doing an afternoon activity. And for this term we are going to be doing some film production, so the children are going to be in teams. They're going to have to come up with a story, write a script, act it out, record it, edit it, do some costumes, do the whole thing, and basically work as a group. So I'm really, really excited about that. It's great to invest in local community, and it does take time to build, but I want to encourage you that once you start to build relationships with local families who are home educating, there's so many wonderful possibilities of things you can do. What does all this mean for my YouTube channel? Well, basically, I don't know. I'm going to try and record one video with each of the children as a bit of an update on where they've got to and what they're doing this year, just so you can see how our Charlotte Mason education is looking for each of them at their different ages. And also for the girls who are doing their high school diploma, we're going to talk about their credits and things. So all going well, I'm going to get at least 4 more videos up as a final recap of what each of my kids are doing. Beyond that, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in New Zealand. And on that note, I'll say goodbye.